show up when we do those folks are not paying any attention whatsoever.
No, they're not.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our topic this morning is how can we profitably use the time between now and, I'll steal a little of your thunder, the second Sunday in February when Eric Mills will join us. I want to begin by reminding you how far we have come. I remember that the big concern a year and a half ago was, would anybody want this job? And then I wonder if we'll have any candidates to interview. And then I wonder if anybody cares about being a program parish. All of those wonderings that you wondered about have led to what is a hugely, to my mind, successful search and call of a new rector. For those of you here last week, you will remember that the presiding bishop has a chaplain. This is the guy that had the beanie, you know.
Why does he wear that beanie?
Why does he wear that beanie? Okay, it's time for a little Christian education, all right?
That is not a beanie. What do you call it?
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. That is called a zucchetto. Zucchetto. Okay, it's Italian for dome. Because it's shaped like a dome, right? You know the little white dude that the Pope wears? Okay, they say, why is the Pope wearing a yarmulke? He's not, he's wearing a zucchetto. Okay? And it was because it was believed that if you were a bishop or higher in the hierarchical order, that your face shone like Moses and it was so bright. And so this kept some of the brightness down. It was like a shade. You think I'm making this up? At any rate, when Ruth made the announcement last week, he started to beam. I said, what's going on? He says, I was in seminary with that guy. You got a good one. So that's the beginning of the end of where you've come. Congregations have been studied for years, and particularly in the Episcopal Church, about what it's like for a person elected rector to come into a congregation. Let me remind you a couple of things that are going on. Number one, he's changing geography. That is among the top stressors in the world. Moving and changing geography is a top stressor, right up there with divorce and death of a child. He's leaving a community of support that he's been in for the last 8 years. That is a top stressor. He doesn't know who a dentist is, or a doctor is, or which pharmacy to go to, or where to live, or where to do hardly anything. And so, when a new rector comes into a congregation, that congregation needs to be prepared to be helpful. Now, a word about that. Sometimes when a new rector comes into a congregation, it looks like a rugby scrum. Everybody and his sister wants a piece of the pie. And that's not fun. It's actually pretty threatening. Because you don't know. You don't know what somebody's ulterior motives might be. You just don't know. You don't know them. They don't know you. Okay? So that is why one of the things that we have done is built in some systems that are here to help the new rector and his family move to Southport. The first of those systems you did a couple of weeks ago when you elected 2 people, and there's a third person who is already on the vestry who were on the search committee. Okay? Who the rector knows is the search committee. Eric does not know the vestry, but he knows the search committee members. And so they are here to help him, because the reality is the people in this congregation with the most stake in the success of his rectorship will be the people that recommended him. And so we built in a support system, okay? Secondly, he is working with one of our parishioners, Pam Hayes, his wife is actually a daughter, to secure housing. So at least the 2 of them have come to know somebody who knows something about the housing market, and also can give them little pointers about, because she's been around the community quite a long time. So she knows where things are. This is the good restaurant, this one not so much. You know, little things like that, depending upon where they are. So we built that into it. Okay. We've also built into it the fact that the office staff has been preparing for him for a while. He does not know this yet, but there is a file folder about that thick with things that we've collected over the last months that he can peruse at his leisure. Nothing is earth-shattering. That's the first thing you can do. Aside from pastoral emergencies, do not inundate him with requests to get your pet project going or whatever it is. In other words, what you can do is give the new rector space, because it takes a while to adjust. The stuff that's in his folder are background materials, so that if he wants to, he can understand where we've been. He, I know, like some of you, have accessed our website and looked at some of the teaching we've done about the Episcopal Church, about how things work in a program-sized congregation, things like that. Okay? And that was, when I heard that, I knew that was good news. Okay? Because if that stuff's available and you don't look at it, how serious are you about being rector? So that is a part of what happened. Okay. So what we can do between now and then, the most important thing we can do between now and then is pray. We are starting today praying at every service for Jim and TJ, our priests, and Eric, our rector-elect, and Pam and Sally, our deacons. He will start to appear next Sunday on the bulletin as rector-elect. Okay? Because you remember the discernment collect that was written by those people? Do you remember that part about the heart of our new rector? Okay? Because the theology is simple. The theology is really simple. Okay? It's called in a perverse way, because that's what we make up things in every profession. That's why we need doctors, so they can pronounce those words, you know, and tell us what it really means. I have no idea what a subdural hematoma means until I found out it was a blood blister. You know, basically. I know. I'm playing. But the point is, the doctrine here is called the doctrine of prevenient grace. Prevenient grace means before he got here, the Holy Spirit was present, helping stuff to work. I've experienced prevenient grace in my coming here, in the people who I've been lucky enough to work with as leadership in this congregation. And I mean, I've said before, you all are leaving with, I'm leaving you with among the best leadership teams in the nation. And if you want any proof for that, I just cite last week. In 2 weeks, we put together one of the best services I've ever been to. And we did it in a lodge. So the Holy Spirit's already here and preparing you to welcome him. Okay. So what you can do between now and then is listen to the Holy Spirit. Here's how you listen to the Holy Spirit. One, think about what you would like if you were moving into a new community. We used to laugh because I worked in this chain of nursing homes. There was an independent living thing. And when a single guy moved in, we always had the thing called the Parade of the Casseroles. Okay? Probably the Holy Spirit is not saying to you, bring a casserole. Probably. But the Holy Spirit will say to you how to be there. Second thing you can do is get used to the fact that he's not going to know your name. So a thing that people do who are really smart about this is every time they see him for a year, you say, hi, I'm, and say your name. What happens to me is I know people's names because I've done something with them. I don't know everybody's name in this congregation because I haven't done something with every member of this congregation. That you wear your name tags is very helpful. And that's about 50% effective as I look around the room. Yeah. He goes, Wheeler, look. So just keep introducing yourself to him. Makes a whole lot of sense to me. The other thing you can do is be who you are right now. This congregation has been lots of different things as a body. Over the past 2 years has been a lot. But who you are right now is awesome. And nothing more attractive than awesome. And to help you begin this relationship. Does those things make sense? I've got a couple more things I'll say, but first I want, Bob, you want it ready? You want to come up here? I asked Bob Wright to come up. You will see, if those of you who are at 8 o'clock, you saw in your bulletin, those of you who read the e-news will have seen this as well, and you will also see it in the 10:30 bulletin. He has written on behalf of the whole search committee some stuff about the search, but I'd like you to hear firsthand about how the search worked. You want to, this doesn't stretch very far.
Thank you. First of all,